So this is on how the government is helping with student loans in response to COVID-19. Um, so the COVID-19 pandemic has had a major effect on the global economy, including on those Americans who are currently paying back student loans. The good news is that there is some relief for borrowers. On March 27, 2020, the president signed into law a $2 trillion stimulus plan known as CARES, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, which will protect borrowers of federal student loans with substantial benefits. It will replace the March 20, 2020 federal mandate that no interest will accrue on federal student loans, and that borrowers could suspend payments for up to 60 days. With the CARES Act, no interest will accrue on federal student loans until September 30th, 2020, and all federal student loan borrowers will automatically have their payments suspended for 6 months through September 30th, 2020. Additionally, the CARES Act also offers guidelines regarding student loans that are in default. We'll answer some common questions borrowers may have, including what loans qualify for these relief benefits, how the forbearance works, and how pausing your student loan payments can affect your finances, and overall student loan payoff strategy. What loans qualify for these relief benefits? The only loans that qualify are federal student loans that are owned by the U.S. Department of Education. This includes direct loans, federal Perkins loans, and federal family education loan program loans. You can find a list of loan services for federal student loans owned by the U.S. Department of Education online. If you have FFEL programs, loans that are not held by the Department of Education or Perkins loans that are held by your former institution, these loans do not qualify for an automatic 0% interest rate or the suspense of loan payments for 6 months as mentioned above. If you have a private loan, this bill does not apply. So do I need to request or apply for these relief benefits? Administrative forbearance occurs for various reasons, including a lender working through a change in loan status. Local or national emergencies in the case of COVID-19 also fall under administrative forbearance. Except in the case of emergencies, all administrative forbearance are based on the discretion of the loan servicer. If you have a student loan owned by the Department of Education, you do not need to request forbearance, but you will have to request for other loans. If your loans were at least 31 days past due as of March 13, 2020, they will automatically be placed in an administrative forbearance, which brought your account current. Eligible loans. All loan payments will be automatically suspended for 6 months without you needing to do anything. Additionally, eligible loans will have their interest rates automatically set to 0. However, it is recommended that you monitor your online account to confirm when this gets applied and the length of the payment suspension. So how does this relief benefit affect me and if my loans are in default? With the CARES Act, the Department of Education is returning roughly $1.8 billion to over 83,000 borrowers whose loans are in default if their money was withheld on or after March 13th, 2020. This refund only applies to borrowers with loans owned by the Department of Education. Debt collection. This means if a borrower has defaulted on his or her loans, debt collections is suspended. This means that no organization will be able to collect money, garnish your wages, or seize your tax refunds during this time, backdated to March 13th, 2020. If your federal tax return or Social Security disability benefits were taken to repay a defaulted loan, this will be returned if it was in the process of being withheld on or after March 13th. This flexibility will last until September 30th, 2020. However, if the process to withhold the tax refund or Social Security benefits was completed before March 13th, it will not be returned. If you have any questions, you can call the Department of Education's Default Resolution Group at 1-800-621-3115. Likewise, wages cannot be garnished until September 30th, 2020. If your wages continue to be garnished, you should contact your employer's Human Resources Department. If the Department of Education receives funds from your paycheck that should have been stopped as a result of the March 13th announcement, they will refund your garnished wages. Active rehabilitation. If you are in default on your loans, your 6 months of forbearance will count towards the 9 months that you need for loan rehabilitation. This means that months when payments are suspended will be deemed as counting for borrowers in the process of rehabilitating your student loans. In other words, failing to make a payment during this time of suspension will not count as an interruption of the goal of 9 on-time fully monthly payments within 10 months. Once your loan has been rehabilitated and transferred to a non-default servicer, you are able to put your loans in administrative forbearance if that option is available. Once again, to talk to the Department of Education's default resolution group, it's 1-800-621-3115. Now, one of the other questions is, can I still make payments? So even though the loans are under forbearance, you can still make payments on your loans. If your current monthly payment is manageable and you're able to continue making payments, it's actually a good idea too, so that you can get your debt down faster due to interest not accruing on your loans during the forbearance. If you decide to make payments on your loans during forbearance, the full amount of your monthly payments will be applied to the principal once all interest accrued prior to the March 13th date. Sorry, this one's a little long. I lost my breath. Okay. So, what does this mean if I'm working towards public service loan forgiveness? Although typically only full payments count if you're working toward public service loan forgiveness, and any month that your loan is in forbearance doesn't count towards forgiveness. The CARES Act makes an exception in this case. The 6 months of suspended payments will count toward loan forgiveness as long as you're meeting the other PSLF program requirements. For example, the other requirements indicate that you must be working full-time to receive credit towards this for a month. If you are not considered to be working full-time for a period of time, then that month or months will not count. Okay, so what does this mean if I have an income-driven repayment plan or I'm thinking about getting one? You also can still receive forbearance and be eligible for income-driven repayment plan forgiveness through PAYE, REPAYE, IBR, or ICR plans. The 6 months of suspended payments. The 6 months, where was I? I don't know. Anyway, additionally, here. The 6 months of suspended payments will count towards your loan forgiveness. Additionally, it's important to note that if you have had a change in income due to COVID-19, changing to an income-driven repayment plan with a lower monthly payment is always an option for federal student loans. If your loans are currently on an income repayment plan and you've had a drop in income, you can always contact your servicer or apply online to have your monthly payment recalculated to account for this change in income. So, conclusion. These are trying times for everyone. Unfortunately, if you have a federal student loan and need some financial assistance, you can experience some relief from the government. If you have a private loan, you can still reach out to your servicer to see if there are any offering any financial assistance or relief for borrowers. If you need any additional information about your student loans and COVID-19, you can always check the Federal Student Aid FAQ page on COVID-19 and students. So, thank you.